Hi, I'm Ron Nutter, and this is another edition of Tech Bites with Ron Nutter. This time I'm going to show you how to use the Sonoff TH10 to monitor the temperature in your house or something in your house, depending on what you need to do. And we'll start that right now. I don't know about you, but sometimes I'd just like to know what the temperature of something is. For example, where I live, I just got through going through about a power outage that lasted around 30 hours. And it's been years since I've had one that's lasted that long. Lost some things in the fridge, kind of expected that once it went past about 12 hours. Started to lose some things in the freezer, but got lucky there. At least that's the freezer with the fridge. And of course, then my big chest freezer, everything made it through unscathed. But I've been looking for a way to be able to watch the temperature. I'm hoping to get a smart thermostat. Unfortunately, the age of my house is I've only got 3 wires coming up from the system downstairs, and I need 4. And to find converters that do that, it's just going to be easier to pull a whole new wire cable, and I'm not paying the HVAC company the money to do that one. I'll pull it myself. But anyway, I digress. So I've been looking for an option so I can watch temperature, and found this little gem from the good folks at Sonoff. Now, they have 2 models. They have the T10 and the T16. The only difference is the amount of current it can handle. And 10 amps, I don't think I'm going to be pulling that anywhere near soon. Now, this is a little different from the Sonoff Basic we've worked with, and here's why. I'm going to pull up to the camera a little bit so you can see it. Now, they've gone to push terminals here, and that really is nice because that way you don't have to worry about pulling the screwdriver out and not taking the screw out too far, but then getting it back down. So this really is very straightforward. This is the extension cable that I've told you about and used with the other Sonoff devices. It's about $4 on Amazon. I've got links to all this in the description. So I stripped off about 1/4 inch insulation. You don't really want to do a whole lot because you want to get just in to the connector here, but you don't want it so far it's reaching back in and shorting out on something. But it's very straightforward. You push it in until you see this, just the edge of the insulation hitting the connector, and then you're ready to hook it up. So what you'll do is you'll go to you'll use the load input, and then you'll use one of the neutrals. And for this, what we're doing, that's all you need to do. Now, you'll see at this point, it's doing the slow blink. Now, if you haven't gotten it right into pairing mode, eventually it will time out and we'll do it. So what we'll do is we'll hold this for about 5 seconds, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000, 5 1000. See, now it's into pairing mode. Notice the difference in the blink pattern. So now we'll switch over to my trusty Galaxy 9, actually S9 Plus. And we'll tap plus, and you see it's into pairing mode. Now, I'm going to temporarily switch away because the next screen will get you to put in or select the SSID and the password. Now, at this point, this one only supports 2.4 gigs. So keep that in mind when you're selecting an SSID. And we'll tap next, and we'll switch back over. And it's going to connect to the device. And it's found it's a 2nd generation device, which is good. And it'll take it just a second here. It says about 3 minutes, but I've yet to see it take that long. And it's going to basically do some handshaking, and it's found the MAC address of the device. Now, this is a screen where we can actually change. Tap on it just the right way here. And I'm going to totally erase that name because for my purposes, I'm going to call it just TH10. I've only got the one device, so it really is not going to be a problem for me. And then we'll tap on complete. It's configuring the device now to talk to the SSID I set it up for. So it's going to take it just a little bit, and actually see in the time that we've talked, sorry, you can't see this. Let me flip screens here temporarily. So now the light's gone on solid. So that's a good thing. So all we have to do, and we'll switch back over to the other screen, is plug in the sensor, and it'll take just a second, and it's actually probably going to force it through a reboot. And the little light's blinking on it right now, and actually we'll go back here to the main screen, and it should be okay. It just finally repaired. It did a reset and did the repairing, and now it's on solid. So now what we can go in and do, I'm going to put the sensor over here out of harm's way, or my way, and we'll tap on TH10. Now see, at this point, it had to do a reboot to acknowledge the sensor, which is fine. But you get the temperature in both Fahrenheit and Celsius, and you also get the amount of humidity. Now, here's where this becomes interesting, and I'm going to drop the lower third here. You'll notice there's some other things down here at the bottom of the screen. You can share access to this with somebody. You can schedule things to turn on and off at certain times. For example, if you want the humidifier to come on, say a couple hours before you come home from work, you can do that. You can also have an automatic setting, and there actually will be a scene that you can set up that says, okay, when it gets to, we'll pick a number, say 30% humidity. And that's really all there is to it. And to turn it on and off, we'll just tap on the off button there. Screen changes. Okay, big deal. But, you know, at least it does change. And then we'll turn it, actually, we'll go back to the main screen. Now, you can also do it from here. You don't have to go to the big screen, and we can turn it on and off from that screen just by tapping that same symbol. But you have to go to the details screen to be able to do that. And really, it's very straightforward. I have, in the short time I've had this up and running, it's been nice because this also gave me a device because the power went out again today, and I was able to, when I suddenly lost contact with the sensor, I went, okay, either the power's gone out or there's a problem with the internet connection, but I was able to see another device remotely, my Plex server. Thank you, Plex. That was another device I could use. So I could tell there'd been some sort of power issue, but hadn't been able to tell much more. So really, this is very straightforward. You could put, in theory, and you'll need to look at the temperature range. There's no reason why you couldn't put this in a refrigerator. So if you knew power had gone out, you could see what temperature was, because this is a small enough sensor cable that shouldn't present a problem. Freezers, I haven't read the specs that closely, but I think it's entirely possible that should work. But what I'm looking at this to do is I'm trying not to run the air conditioner any more than I have to. So I'm going to be spending probably at least a week getting an idea of the average temperature inside the house when the AC is off, and contrast that with what it is in the basement. So that way I can get an idea from a neutral third party, because the Sonoff has no vested interest in which way things are going, and see what we're looking at that point. Now, here's another thing. For those of you who are traveling, this is a great little sensor to have in the house, because this way you know if something's not right, even if, say, the power hasn't gone off, if there's been a problem with the AC. This will give you peace of mind, especially if nobody's home, to know what the temperature is, to know if you've got a problem. And then one other thing you'd probably want to put in place, and I'll show that in a future video, and that is a water sensor. Put it somewhere in the basement, probably either near where the water line comes in, or if you've got, say, like the water heater or anything that's going to have some water in it that you want to know if it bursts or starts leaking, that would be a good thing to do. So between the temperature sensor and that, you could have a good idea if something is not right at the house. So this really is, you can't ask for any more than that. And for the price, the sensor's about almost like $20, I believe. And the TH10 was about $20 roughly. And then the temperature sensor was a little bit more. I spent the extra money and got the high precision just because I wanted to have a fairly accurate reading of what was there. So that's what we're going to do for this time. And I'm working to see, I've reached out to the folks at Sonoff to see if there is a way where you can get either Madam A or the Google Home counterpart to read you what the temperature is. So far, I don't think the API set is there. I've reached out, have not heard back, but that's my sense for where things stand at this point, which means if those two won't do it, the integration that is there with Cortana, and that's something I've got to look at, is probably going to have the same issue, but time will tell. At least with this, you can get a pretty good readout of what's going on. So that really is, you can't complain. It's worth it. Thank you to everyone who have been subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate that. There are links in the description for the TH10, for the temperature sensor, and the extension cord. So if you want to do your own, if you click on those links, those are affiliate links, I will get a small amount for that. It's not going to raise or lower your price. So if you do decide to buy, I really would appreciate it. I'm also on Patreon, so that if you're not going to be buying things, you just simply wanted to learn at this point, I want to help you. But if you want to become a patron of Tech Bytes RN for as little as $1 a month, and that breaks down to, with the number of videos doing, less than probably about 15 cents a video. And I've still got, after doing the one today, I'm still looking at about 150 videos, and I'm always adding to that number. As one or two get done, then I'm adding to more. So if you're able to, fine. And if you're not, that's fine too, because I know there's only so much money. I'm getting closer to releasing the book. This is the cover. There's been a minor change, but this is pretty much what you should see. I'm waiting for one more change to be done to the book, and it should be out by the 1st of July. You'll see me do a video on it when it comes out. And this time I'm going to do a simultaneous release on both Kindle and paperback. And I'm already starting the second volume in it, because there's things that I kept finding and kept adding. And at some point I had to cut off what I was adding, because I wanted to get this out and be affordable and just keep moving on. Because as you can appreciate, with the way this technology is changing, it's never going to be complete. Somebody's always going to come with new and bigger and better. And I've been working with the portable Plex server based on Raspberry Pi. I've also been working with an IoT gateway from the folks at Mozilla that has some serious potential to it. But we'll go over that in another video. So thank you for watching the video. Really appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. And when you subscribe, make sure you click on the little bell icon so that you will get notifications when I do release new videos. I'm getting some reports that's not always happening. So a fallback plan for you can be, if you want to subscribe to my mail list, I'm not going to be spamming you with it. At this point, I might send out an email or two a week, and that's mainly to let you know when I've got new videos that have come out. If I find a special deal that it's going to be a fairly short time window when it's become available, that, I want to get that out to you quickly that way, but I'm not going to run out the list. I don't do that. I don't believe in it. And as they say in a movie I saw recently, enough said. So thank you for your time, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next video.